Hello everyone, welcome to Study Automation. In this tutorial, we will see ReactJS and how we can use ReactJS in our day-to-day programming language. So let's start with the basic of ReactJS. Here we can see ReactJS is a front-end library developed by Facebook. It is used for handling the view layer for web and mobile application. The only thing here we have to remember is we can use ReactJS to create front end only. Front end can be for web application or can be for mobile application. ReactJS allows us to create reusable UI component. So in ReactJS, basically you can create UI component, and that UI component you can use multiple places. We'll see that in the coming videos. The terms JSX is JavaScript syntax extension. It isn't necessary to use JSX in React development, but it is recommended. Also we have components. So React is all about components. You need to think everything as a component. This will help you to maintain the code when working on larger scale projects. So here we have to, whenever we work with any component, so let's say if you want to add one search box, then search box will be one component. If you will add button, then button will be one of the component. So in that page, everything you have to think in terms of components. So here we can see the architecture. So we can write code in JSX file or JS file. That JSX file will transform into JavaScript file, and then JavaScript file will be embedded into browser, and in browser we have JavaScript interpreter and then browser native engine. So interpreter, and here we have React virtual DOM, and this is the browser DOM. So in ReactJS we work on virtual DOM. This is just a copy of actual DOM, and let's say if you are modifying or working on any of the following DOM is document object model, then it will be changed to that particular real DOM at the real time. So synchronization is happened on the real time. That means you will modify anything and then you will see the output at a time. So what is the virtual DOM? The virtual DOM is a programming concept where an ideal or virtual representation of UI is kept in the memory and synced with the real DOM by library such as React DOM. This process is called reconciliation. Here we can see we have virtual DOM and then DOM. If you are modifying, if you are entering anything in input box using library, it will modify the actual real DOM. So this is one of the benefit. If you modify, delete or add anything, it will not hamper the real DOM, and it is quite fast when we work with ReactJS. So here we have the declarative UI with JSX. So JSX, as we already understand, JSX is the transformer or compiler that accepts an extended JavaScript syntax. JSX translates extended HTML like notation. So if you can see, this looks like HTML where we have div closing my level. Inside that we have attributes, text equal to label, text label. We are closing this text field. So my text field is one of the component which starts and end here. Then my button, text OK. Now once we will compile, then JavaScript React API calls like this. For each element it will create a React element, div React element my level, and then this one is the attribute, text field, my button. these things will be appended to the actual real DOM. So now we have, whenever we work with ReactJS, there are two major things that we need to understand. One is props and another one is states. So props is a short form of properties and they are used to pass data between React components. React's data flow between components is unidirectional, from parent to child only. And that particular communication happened between parent and child using props. So in this example, you can see we have parent component, one of the class, it returns child component, and in the child component we are just passing the attribute name. Now this name will be used in the child component through props. So in child component we can see we are passing our parameter props and then we are returning here props.name. Also we can create any program in two ways. One is using class, another one is using function. So here we can see this parent class is written using class and the child component is written using function. Now what is a state? A state allows components to create and manage their own data. It is used to create and manage data internally. We cannot pass data to the component. So we cannot pass to the data to the component. That means we can pass data to the component, but the thing is we cannot consume that data through a state in the child component. Here we can see we have one class test. We have added a state and default value is ID and name. Now when we go to the use this state in return statement, then in that case you can see we have div and then this dot state dot id. That means this dot state and then id. So whatever things you have set here, you can use it, and these two fields you can use inside the class only. If you want to use in outside of the class, you can pass this state to the component, and in the child component you have to use props. Using props you will access this element, this data. So now in the next video we will install softwares related to ReactJS and then we'll create one small demo. Thank you.